Hey everyone, Robert Mueller here. As you can see in front of me is the game Mousetrap. Now, the crazy contraption that it's built from, pretty much, was kind of created by a guy by the name of Rube Goldberg. He was actually a cartoonist slash engineer. A lot of his cartoons had crazy, wacky contraptions like this to do just simple, fundamental things. For instance, this one pretty much just to capture a mouse. But instead of just dropping the net on the mouse, you have to turn a crank and kick a bucket and drop stuff, and a bunch of weird stuff has to happen. Now, behind that, pretty much this game is based on a lot of fundamental physics. Take, for instance, the crank. Throughout this entire thing is a lot of potential energy. Now, once you exert a force onto the crank and start causing the gears to rotate, that potential energy is now converted and turned into kinetic energy, which makes the game and everything start flowing. Now, as you turn, the gears move. It connects to this little red lever here. This lever ends up swinging back to a point. There's a band that causes resistance to hold it there. Now that force is exerted onto it, and once it reaches kind of a breaking point, it snaps forward, kicking the little green boot here onto the bucket. It kicks the bucket over, which transfers that force from the boot now to the bucket, releasing the ball bearing that's inside the bucket. So as the ball bearing starts going down the inclined plane here, or pretty much just the staircase, gravity starts playing a role on it, and it starts increasing its speed. So as gravity's pushing down, it's traveling at an incline this way. It gets down here to this little red chute. The chute is at an incline, so gravity is still pushing on it, and it's going down. Now, once it hits the bottom down here, it hits this little pole. That force that the ball is traveling with, and that acceleration down the chute, is now transferred into this pole all the way up to the top to this ball bearing. And once it hits, that ball bearing's released, goes down. Once it falls from the top here into the tub, it goes through a slight duration of free fall. And again, once it goes from the tub down here to the fulcrum, or kind of the seesaw thing here, this little blue thing, again, it goes through a time of free fall where only gravity is pushing on it, or is acting upon it. But as it falls, that force now from gravity is transferred to the seesaw here, which on the left side will make it go down, the right side will go up, and the diver will go into the container here. Now, as the diver enters the container, that force is transferred from the container to kind of the flagpole apparatus here, which drops the net onto the playing surface. Now, I know everyone's waiting for all the fun action to begin. We'll do that here in a minute. But again, to sit here and look at this contraption, and it's just a simple game. You sit down with kids. As a kid, we all probably played this game. But you sit down with your friends, you get it built, and nobody thinks about the science behind it. But it's full of science. The entire backbone of this game is built on fundamental physics. And it's really amazing to look at that something that kids can play constantly during rainy days outside, or with their parents for family game night, is kind of an extenuation of the school they had earlier in the day. So, games like this convey messages that you can have fun and you can simultaneously learn. It's a great concept. It's wonderful. And that's carrying over to virtual games. Little Big Planet for the PlayStation 3 is a great example of that, where in the editor, you can go through and create similar contraptions to this, where every little thing you do has a cause and effect, or kind of a domino effect, so to speak, and continues on and on and on and on the more you design with it. But without further ado, let's put this in motion. Let's convert potential energy to kinetic energy and watch the virtual mice over here get trapped. So here we go. And there you have it, folks. Mousetrap. Fundamental physical game. Thank you.